So Ethereum, a little bit of a more basic look at this. I keep my ETH trading relatively short, relatively simple, and just looking at mainly the 4-hour time frame here, and that's what I use to trade ETH, and also looking at the ETH BTC pair. Now, something we had spoken about last week was when we were up here on Ethereum, we were hoping to see a move down that took us around about that 0.052 to 0.05 area. Now we've come to 0.052 exactly, right? Look at that. That is anchored on that low. Where was my alert? That has not triggered because it clearly didn't go down. But look at that, 0.052, right? Perfect. Now, we were thinking that yesterday this could have a little bounce and then come down and take this, depending on what the rest of the market was. But that is the literal alert that I put on there last week has hit to the absolute tick. The absolute tick that this has gone, which has meant that my alert hasn't triggered because it never traded through it. It just hit it and then came straight off of it. So Ethereum BTC is in the buy zone, right? This is swing long buy territory for ETH BTC. Now, it can go down. This was the top of the target. It could drop all the way to 0.05. All right. I am very, very happy to continue to look at Ethereum as being very interesting as long as it is within this zone. But the fact that we have hit 0.052 and we are getting a reaction from that is, for me, a really good sign. What we also have here is if you can do divergences on ETH, I guess we have them at oversold, right? We do kind of have them here. You can actually, this is the funny thing as well, you can actually trade this. So I know it's on Bybit. They've got an ETH BTC USD pair now, so you can trade this actual chart against USDT, which is kind of cool on some exchanges. So that's good. But yeah, ETH is looking really, really good here, and I'm very, very happy with how this is looking. So what we have seen is where this had been just support, consistent support, you break, you then go resistance. All right, so you've just been bouncing along as support, bashing into it as resistance, claimed once again, now back into support. I do believe that we have seen a real good low on Ethereum. Now, of course, this has been for a very, very long time. So this continued range could carry on for a very, very long time. But I am not thinking that it is likely that we come back down towards these lows again at this stage. I think the ETH, the overall like max pain, ETH is dead, everyone hates ETH scenario is probably over for now, and that we can expect this range to form here and for us to be back up towards here. So this looking really, really good on ETH. It could carry on for quite some time. We don't know if there will be a significant rally from this. We don't know if it ever will rally again. Maybe we are just destined for Ethereum to permanently be within 0.05 and 0.06. Maybe that's just how it goes. But I do think that if we can start to creep back up towards this range, 0.06, maybe we have another drop afterwards. That could coincide with when Bitcoin goes on a big move later on in the summer, potentially, right? So if you're looking at ETH getting a nice bounce here, takes you back up towards the highs of the range within June and July. Then Bitcoin finally takes off and you get this move back down. And then we have the big alt season when we do finally hit a top, 100K, that kind of thing. That could play out really, really nicely. But ETH BTC has hit the buy zone. This is where I'm looking to bid ETH BTC. Now, the other levels that I have spoken about when we look on the ETH USD chart was I had consistently said 3,400. as being just, if we do get an opportunity at 3,400, that looks fantastic. Now, I know we haven't come into that zone on the chart yet, but that was thinking that, okay, we could get that move down to 0.05 on the BTC, ETH BTC pair, which could give us more of a drop down here on the ETH USD pair. But I do believe we've got a good trade here right now, because what have we done? We have taken out these lows on the 4 hour and we have closed back above. So that sets us up for a long position here where we can be targeting range highs once again. All right. I have the stop. I didn't mean to draw the stop at 3,420, but I guess 3,420 works as a stop. But because we're also looking at 3,400 as being a real nice opportunity for buying around about that area, you probably want to keep this as a fairly wide stop. The problem is you can't have a stop that's all the way down here because you just don't have the risk to reward on it. But maybe there's a couple of trades you can take it as a scalp to begin with, and then see if you can then start to move this into a swing trade after that. So yeah, ETH, real nice, having swept those 4 hour lows. And then you look at this gap here as being just a fantastic area to bid into. If you come back down into these prints down here, all right, then that's the second zone that you can be looking for, and that is that 3,400 area. Not seeing that as being, I mean, that could maybe be hit later on if we do see continuous bearish price action. If we do get that capitulation on Bitcoin that takes us to 65.6 ish. I think I was saying, if we do get that move to 65.6 ish on Bitcoin, that would be enough to take us down below 3,400 on Ethereum. But for now, I think there's a real good opportunity for this to bounce, even if it's just something like this right at this stage that takes us back up to this range. I think there's still a good trade to be had here, and it is a trade that I myself, I have had bids. I do have bids down here, so I was filled on this move overnight. But I would consider adding to it from a day trading position as well. Now, 30-minute time frame also looks really good. So 2 spikes down into these lows on both occasions, closing higher. Okay, so once again, what do we see? We have single prints here. Okay, price surges into it, and yeah, we're getting a decent bounce from this so far. Now, from here, if you're looking on the lower time frames, I'm sure there are a few of you have probably taken this trade already. 30 is clean. 30 is very clean. So this gives us a very clear take profit level, right? If you are long and you're in a day trade long, scalp long, essentially your trade is looking like this right now, with your stop losses at those lows. Okay, you've already come down into there twice. There's been 2 opportunities to bid. Your first take profits here. All right. Coming up into these single prints here. So that would be take profit 1. If we're looking a little bit lower, there's not really any reason to be taking profit earlier on this at this stage if you are long from these lows. What we have not seen yet is this 5-minute gap. I mean, you have. So for you ICT lovers out there, you have had this little inversion. That has happened. But for me, that wouldn't be a place in which you go, okay, that's really bullish. I think there might be another opportunity to get in here. I think that we've seen a nice impulse up that has come back into the range that we've had previously. I think there could be one more opportunity using this as the low, and that we might get this even during the stream. So if you want to look for a long, 3,520 on Ethereum, 3,521. 3,522. You know that 520 to 522. Invalidation at 3,500. And you're looking for 3,570-ish. So if this does drop back down, if there is another opportunity here, I think there could be one more chance. What you don't want to see is price closing back within this red. You don't want to be underwater on this at any stage. If this does drop, you want it to be quick and then get that move up towards these highs. So yeah, that is that's probably what we're looking for in Ethereum. Then if you hit take profit one, okay, you've got another high up here. You've got this session VWAP. Still a long way off that session VWAP. So move all the way up to like 3620, 3600 could be on the cards here. This could be a real nice trade. Look at that 4.2R. ETH just permanently giving the memes, right? We had an invalidation at 420. We've got a 420R trade here. So ETH just permanently, it loves that number. So maybe it's a sign. All right, we're going to 4,200. That is it. You got the long position here, and let's just ride it all the way up here. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's see if we can do that. But of course, being serious about this, yeah, ETH looking good right now, but it could go lower if we do, of course, see that ETH BTC pair search is a little bit deeper. And finally, if, of course, that Bitcoin does get that drop down to start to take out some of these lows. So be aware of it. For now, it's a day trade only. It's not really going to give us any more than that at this stage. There could be another low that gets put in, but on that low, that is where you can start looking at divergences playing out. That is when you can start to look at the overall like bigger picture playing out and getting those really, 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 really nice long positions below 3,400 to take it all the way up to new highs, which I still think is quite likely. Okay, so see what happens. This has been quite a high volume drop. On this occasion, we have, of course, got a very high volume candle on these lows, and you do normally get a bit of a bounce after that. But what we could see, price float back up. Okay, one more low, and that's when you go gig along to new highs. So 1 drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, bang, new highs. Yeah, you got it. Let's see if it works out. But that's enough for my Ethereum analysis. Keep it simple. I've had this plan for ages now, and I've just been waiting for it to play out, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's now finally playing out. So I'm very clear on my plan. Now looks good, but not to hold. One more move down, then you hold it with strong hands forever. Now, if we do start to reclaim market structure, you keep those strong hands on this trade. Okay, if this trade doesn't get validated, keep those hands strong. But if it does, and we do come down and take stops, you know where it's heading next. That's when you go gig along and pray with strong hands. So yeah, thanks for watching the ETH update, and I'm going to now stop the recording and carry on with the stream again. So cheers, bye-bye.